There is a pervasive myth in the world of men's style that looking expensive requires spending a fortune. We are led to believe that elegance is reserved for those who can afford four-figure suits and luxury watches, but the reality is quite different. We have all seen men draped in designer labels who look cheap, and we have seen men in modest outfits who command immediate respect. At 50 and beyond, you understand that true wealth is not about what you spend, it is about how you carry yourself. The aesthetic, often referred to as old money, is not actually about money at all. It is about discernment. It is the understanding that style is a discipline, not a purchase. It relies on principles that have stood the test of time. Fit, fabric, color coordination, and maintenance. These are things that money cannot buy, but taste can acquire on any budget. You do not need a black card to upgrade your presence. You simply need to know the code. Today, we are going to break down the 5 golden rules of looking expensive without breaking the bank. These are the secrets that separate the well-dressed gentleman from the walking advertisement. Let us begin with the first rule. Rule number 1 is the absolute foundation of high-value style. It is the understanding that fit is far more important than brand. There is a common misconception that wealthy men look good because their clothes are expensive. This is false. They look good because their clothes fit. In the world of old money style, nothing is ever baggy and nothing is ever skin tight. Everything is cut to skim the body, allowing for movement while maintaining a clean, sharp silhouette. The secret that most stylish men know is that off-the-rack clothing is almost never meant to be worn exactly as it is bought. Manufacturers design clothes to fit the widest possible range of body types, which means they essentially fit no one perfectly. When you buy a shirt or a pair of trousers and wear them straight from the store, you are usually wearing a garment that is slightly too long in the sleeves or too wide in the waist. These small imperfections accumulate to create a look that feels sloppy and cheap regardless of how much you paid. The single most effective way to look expensive on a budget is to build a relationship with a tailor. This might sound like a luxury, but it is actually a money-saving strategy. A $50 shirt that has been tailored to fit your torso for an extra $20 will always look superior to a $200 shirt that pulls at the buttons or balloons at the waist. The tailor allows you to buy affordable mass-market brands and upgrade them into something that looks custom-made. When your clothes follow the lines of your body, it signals that they were made for you. It implies a level of exclusivity and attention to detail that is the hallmark of the upper-class aesthetic. Focus on the key areas. The shoulder seam of a jacket must end at the edge of your shoulder bone. The sleeve of a shirt should end at the wrist bone, not the palm. Trousers should have a clean break or no break at all, avoiding the accordion effect of fabric piling up at the shoe. These are subtle adjustments, but the visual impact is profound. When a man walks into a room in a suit that fits perfectly, human nature assumes he is a man of status. It does not matter if that suit was bought second-hand or on sale. The fit communicates the value. By prioritizing the silhouette over the label, you effectively hack the system. You stop paying for marketing and start investing in your own image. Once you understand that the shape of your clothing determines its perceived value, the next step is to examine what that clothing is actually made of, because cheap synthetic fabrics will always betray you no matter how well they fit. Rule number 2 is about the fabric itself. You can have a suit that is perfectly tailored, but if it is made of shiny polyester, it will never look expensive. The second golden rule of old money style is to prioritize natural fibers over synthetics. In the world of affordable clothing, we are surrounded by plastic. Polyester, nylon, and acrylic are cheap to produce, so they are everywhere. But they are the enemies of elegance. The problem with synthetic fabrics is how they interact with light. They often have an unnatural plastic sheen that reflects light rather than absorbing it. This shininess is a dead giveaway of low quality. Furthermore, synthetics do not drape well. They cling to the body in unflattering ways, they trap heat, and over time they pill and degrade, making the garment look old very quickly. To look expensive on a budget, you must become a label reader. Before you even try something on, check the tag. You are looking for cotton, wool, linen, and leather. These natural materials have a matte finish that looks rich and substantial. They breathe. They move with the body. They age gracefully rather than falling apart. A 100% cotton Oxford shirt looks crisp and authoritative. A merino wool sweater has a soft depth that acrylic can never mimic. Linen wrinkles, yes, but it wrinkles in a way that implies leisure and ease, which is the very essence of the old money vibe. And the best part is that natural fibers are not necessarily expensive. You do not need cashmere or vicuna to look wealthy. A heavyweight cotton t-shirt costs marginally more than a synthetic blend, but it looks 5 times better. Vintage wool coats can be found at thrift stores for a fraction of the price of a new polyester jacket. By strictly avoiding the plastic shine of synthetics, you immediately elevate your wardrobe. You remove the visual noise of cheap fabric. When you wear natural materials, you are communicating that you value authenticity. You are choosing something real over something artificial. This texture, this quality of material creates a subconscious signal of wealth. It says that you are comfortable and that you do not need to cut corners on the things that touch your skin. Once you have the right fit and the right fabric, the next step is to choose the right colors, because even the best suit can look cheap if the color palette is loud or uncoordinated. Rule number 3 focuses on the visual language of wealth, which is defined by color, or rather the restraint of color. To look expensive on a budget, you must master the neutral palette. If you look at the marketing of luxury brands like Brunello Cucinelli or Loro Piana, you will notice a distinct absence of neon bright primary colors or loud patterns. Instead, you see a sea of navy cream, charcoal, olive, camel, and white. This is not an accident. Bright, flashy colors are often used by fast fashion brands to grab attention and distract from poor quality construction. They are trendy, which means they have an expiration date. Neutrals, on the other hand, are timeless. They never go out of style, and more importantly, they mix and match effortlessly. When you build your wardrobe around these core tones, you create what is known as visual harmony. This is the secret to looking pulled together without looking like you tried too hard. The most sophisticated way to apply this is through tonal dressing. This means wearing different shades of the same color in one outfit. For example, pairing a light gray sweater with charcoal trousers and a slate gray jacket. This creates a vertical line that lengthens your body, making you look taller and slimmer while exuding a level of elegance that color blocking simply cannot achieve. It looks intentional. It looks curated. And financially, this strategy is a game changer. When all your clothes are in the same neutral family, almost everything in your closet matches everything else. You can own fewer items but create more outfits. A high-quality navy blazer can be worn with gray trousers, beige chinos, or dark denim. It is versatile. A bright red jacket is memorable, but in a bad way. People will remember it as that loud jacket, and you can only wear it once in a while. By sticking to neutrals, you maximize the utility of every dollar you spend. You effectively create a capsule wardrobe where every piece pulls its weight. This restraint signals maturity. It shows that you are confident enough to let your face and your presence be the focal point, not your clothing. It is the visual equivalent of speaking in a low, calm voice instead of shouting. You draw people in. So if you are shopping on a budget, ignore the sale rack filled with bizarre patterns and trendy colors. Head straight for the navy, the tan, and the gray. These colors look expensive, even in affordable fabrics, and they provide the perfect canvas for the next rule, which is all about how you maintain the things you own. Rule number 4 separates the men who buy style from the men who embody it. It is the art of maintenance. You can buy the most expensive suit in the world, but if it is wrinkled, stained, or missing a button, it will look like a rag. Conversely, a thrift store shirt that has been freshly washed, starched, and ironed can look like a custom piece from Savile Row. The fourth golden rule is that crispness equals cost. In the old money aesthetic, there is a high premium placed on taking care of one's possessions. It signals that you value what you have. Looking expensive is not just about the acquisition of goods, it is about the preservation of them. The easiest way to downgrade your appearance is to leave the house in unpressed clothing. Wrinkles signal neglect. They imply a chaotic life. To look polished, you must be disciplined about the condition of your garments. Learn to iron your shirts properly. Pay attention to the collar and the cuffs. A stiff, clean collar frames the face and commands respect. If you hate ironing, invest in a good steamer. It takes 5 minutes in the morning, but it adds thousands of dollars of perceived value to your look. Beyond wrinkles, pay attention to the details that others ignore. Use a lint roller before you walk out the door, especially on dark jackets. Remove the pilling from your sweaters. Over time, wool and cotton can develop those small, fuzzy balls of fabric that make a sweater look old and worn out. A simple fabric shaver or a sweater stone costs a few dollars, but it restores the surface of the knit, making it look brand new again. And perhaps most importantly, look at your shoes. Scuffed, dirty leather destroys an outfit instantly. It does not matter how sharp your suit is if your shoes look like you have been walking through a construction site. Spend 10 minutes once a week polishing your shoes. Keep them clean. Keep them conditioned. The shine on your shoes reflects your attention to detail. This rule is the ultimate budget hack because it costs practically nothing but your time. It requires effort, not money. When you present yourself to the world in clothes that are clean, pressed, and cared for you, project an air of competence. You look like a man who has his life in order. And in the eyes of society, a man who has his life in order is a man of high status. Once your clothes are fitted, natural, neutral, and immaculate, there is one final touch needed to complete the illusion. It is the rule that turns a simple outfit into a signature look. Rule number 5 is the final detail that elevates the entire ensemble. It is the rule of minimalist accessories. This is where many men sabotage an otherwise perfect outfit. They put on a great suit, but then ruin it with a cheap, bulky sports watch or a belt with a massive designer buckle. To look expensive, you must understand that accessories are not meant to be the center of attention. They are meant to be subtle accents that signal taste. The old money aesthetic relies on the principle that less is more. You do not need a stack of bracelets or a gold chain to look wealthy. In fact, those things often look desperate. Instead, focus on 2 or 3 key items. First, the watch. You do not need a $10,000 Rolex to look sophisticated. You simply need a watch that is analog, simple, and appropriately sized for your wrist. A vintage-style dress watch with a clean white or black dial and a leather strap looks infinitely more elegant than a massive digital smartwatch or a flashy, oversized chronograph. It suggests that you value time and tradition. Second, the belt. A logo buckle is a mistake. It looks like you paid to be a walking advertisement. Choose a simple leather belt with a discreet silver or brass buckle, and make sure the leather matches your shoes. This coordination is a small detail that creates a sense of order. Finally, eyewear. If you wear glasses or sunglasses, choose classic shapes like aviators or wayfarers in tortoiseshell or black. Avoid the sporty wraparound styles that belong on a cycling track. When your accessories are classic and understated, they act as the final polish on your appearance. They show that you understand the nuance of style. Looking expensive is not about deceiving people. It is about presenting the best version of yourself. It is about showing the world that you have discipline, taste, and self-respect. When you focus on fit, natural fabrics, neutral colors, impeccable maintenance, and subtle accessories, you create an image of high value that no price tag can replicate. You stop competing with money and start leading with style. If you want to master these principles and build a wardrobe that serves you for years to come, consider subscribing to the channel. We are building a community of gentlemen who know that true style is timeless. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.